Remember that wreck? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and upload the court hearings as this has been going along because of the fact of a lot of people being injured and dragged to the courts for 6 years just to get some type of compensation. I've been through this now 7. This is going to go on for a while, I have a feeling. Anyways, Cedric here is terrorizing the injured as one injured victim on, if you Google it, will tell you. Cedric is acting as the third-party administrator for certain consolidated liability and workers' compensation claims for Consolidated Freightways. Now, Cedric is just a adjuster, third party, and they're claiming that Consolidated Freightways was self-insured, and therefore they went ahead as a third-party administrator for Consolidated Freightways. However, they cannot do this because Consolidated Freightways had their license revoked in October 1st, 1996, and it was never reinstated. So, in March 1st, 1960, they did have it, and then was revoked in 1996 here. So you have to get this letter from the Department of Industrial Relations Self-Insured Plans. And this happens for the state of California, is in Sacramento, this department. Anyways, in order to be self-insured, you cannot get an endorsement. Now, what's funny is the defense is offering this policy, USF G. And the fact of the matter is, they're saying they are insured from 10/1 to 10/1/02, 2001 to 2002, from this period. However, the gentleman who works for USF G says, no, Consolidated Freightways moved their business from us on April 1st, 2001. So, unfortunately, I don't have any information, but Cedric Claims took over the handling of the claims. Now, Cedric Claims, they're indicating that basically they're just the third-party administrator because they thought Consolidated Freightways Corporation of Delaware was self-insured. Now, we know this is not true. So, this policy is invalid. Now, my checks bounce, stop payment, was August 30th, after my accident, August 4, 2002. So, I think what these crooks did is they went out and got a policy with this policy number, here it is, in 2004, I'm not really sure later, but that does show on a 2004 check that I had received. But during the time of my accident, these individuals were not self-insured, and you can't get an endorsement if you're not self-insured. And that's the key word they're trying to get out of whether they're endorsed or not. I go to the hearing, I'm in pro per, that means you represent yourself. And it's basically me against their defense attorney. And when I told the judge that they were not self-insured, he simply asked the defense, are you self-insured? And he skirts around it. This is what he says, Your Honor, the way the policy reads, well, it has a self-insured language. The actual language of the policy was specifically at page 279 and page 281. The insurer pays the claim and then seeks reimbursement from Consolidated. No, Cedric does that, not a workers' comp. You have two options. You can be self-insured and you can basically put up a surety bond and then get an endorsement for workers' comp. That's what you do when you're self-insured. Or you can go out and buy workers' comp, which costs a lot more money. You can buy it through the state or private. But they couldn't have done that because the basically their certificate was revoked in 1996. And they didn't just go out and purchase it. Here he's trying to get around the fact that he's claiming he's self-insured, but the language. No, we're not looking at a policy because that's an endorsement. And you can't get an endorsement without being self-insured. And we know they're not. So now I'm going to go about the court hearings of why this little quagmire fight has been hell for me. And I'll go ahead and Enron did the books. And what you do is you go to their security exchange. And had these people been doing their job, they would have immediately known that on their filing they're alleging they are self-insured, and they are not. And when I filed a complaint with the fraud department with the security exchange, they said, well, do you want the witness protective program? No, I want you to do your jobs and hold these criminals, you know, accountable. Now, Arthur Anderson is the one who did the books here, and a lot of pages, and no one wants to read this stuff, but it's not that terrible. So if you have to know, I have a Carrie Morgan representing them through the trustees on this one. This is for the trust, and she basically gets bluffed. But Arthur Anderson had done their SEC, if you Google it, their filings, and so that's important to find out, to kind of track them down of what's going on. And then I have the parent company here on these other exhibits, or here's Consolidated Freightways 10Q, and then as you go through this, you will find out who did the books, and it's Arthur Anderson, our beloved Arthur Anderson, that accounting firm for Enron, does the books here, my exhibits here, and this is the police report. So you had this, well, it's not gonna, oh, anyways, it'll tell you on there on that last page